Hey Taurus, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot here with your October 2018 reading. This month I'm reading with the Anima Mundi deck, which I just got for my birthday in September, so I'm very excited about it. The imagery is primarily animals as well as just some more general natural world kind of stuff, so it's really beautiful. I hope that you enjoy the cards that come up for you. I'm sticking with the same 3-card spread that I've done in previous months, with the first position indicating what to focus on this month, the second position indicating what to set aside for the month, and the third position indicating just an additional consideration to keep in mind during the month. So we'll get into your reading. For your first card, which is your focus for the month, you drew the 8 of Pentacles. And as you can see there, it's a lot of busy beavers building their dams. This came up for another sign, I forget which because I filmed it a different day, but this month is going to be great for you in terms of either kind of progressing and doing really well in your current job, kind of laying the seeds to this month to eventually like get potentially a promotion. Or it could be if sort of, sorry, there's a car alarm going off. Okay, I think it's over. So it's a good month this month also, as well as in addition to trying hard at maybe your current job. It could also be a great time to pick up a new skill set. So if there's been something you've been wanting to learn, take a class, go back to school for, now is a good time to check that out and see what's available to you, because it's going to come very naturally and you're going to be very successful at doing so this month. In your card of what to set aside, you drew the Ace of Swords. As you may or may not know, the aces are all about new beginnings, and Swords sign is mind. It's an air sign. And so the Ace of Swords is really kind of like a mental breakthrough card, where if it came up in a different placement, and I'll get to that in just a second, this could be just any kind of thing that you've come to discover. Maybe it could even be, like, wow, I just realized that, this person in my life is just actually not even there for me at all, and I'm there for them all the time, and I need to let that go and be with someone or be friends with someone or whatever, who truly appreciates me and gives back to me too. That's just like a completely random example, and it actually does not apply to this reading because the Ace of Swords is in your set aside for the month. So what does that mean? That means that you should be careful with the thoughts that do come your way this month. So if you do have some kind of thing that comes through and you're like, wow, it just seems like things are this way, or I never realized that things should be this way, it very well could be the case, but this month your mind might not be quite as clear as in other times. And so I would suggest that you not rush to make take any action on thoughts that do come your way this month that are like that. And I know that's very broad because It's just like any major, well, I guess it's not that broad because I mean, how many mental breakthroughs do you have each month? Not many, probably. Or at least I don't. It's almost kind of like, I think of it as when you've been, and I know it's sort of a stereotype to the point where it's like a joke, but you know, if you've been in therapy for a while and then you're like, oh my God, I finally like understand this about myself. So that's kind of how I think of the Ace of Swords in a placement that's not like this one. And you know, if you do have something come your way that way and it feels very true, it totally could be. And it's not to say that anything you think this month that's a big deal like isn't actually what it seems. That's not the case, but you just want to be careful with what you do with yourself after you have that thought. So just be mindful of that. And it could be just, you know, thinking that, and that's totally your truth, but maybe next month is a better month for actually acting on anything as a result of this new idea or new way of seeing the world or new way of seeing yourself or new way of seeing other people. In your position of additional consideration, you drew another 8. You drew the 8 of Cups. So we have like a seagull kind of flying off in the night there over some water. And the 8 of Cups is about moving on from something that wasn't serving you. Maybe not feeling the greatest about it. There's a level of sadness here, but it's also something that was necessary to get rid of. And most things that we move on from are necessary to get rid of. Not always, but I feel like most of the time, if anything, we delay how quickly we move on from something that we shouldn't be continuing. But you can see that there's the moon here. So kind of like lighting the gull's way to a better place. And you know, maybe that could tie in with your set aside of the sword, your Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords, because it's kind of like whatever, you know, this big idea or, you know, way of thinking that comes your way this month, perhaps it's something that's kind of hard and you kind of want to move on from a situation you didn't realize is not in your best interests. And, you know, if that doesn't, you know, the idea of what something like that is doesn't immediately come to mind, then maybe evaluate what it is that maybe you should move on from. Cups are emotional, so it could be a relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It could be, I mean, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be relationships with friends and family. Sometimes people who are supposed to kind of be the most supportive are like the least supportive, tragically. So it's just an additional consideration. It's not going to be dominating your month because you have this awesome productivity and like work ethic that's dominating your month. So I wouldn't say to be worried or scared or feel like you might be set back this month. I know that the Ace of Swords is also kind of like in the set aside position is also maybe a little bit of a for the month, but really overall it's going to be a strong month. And the stuff with the Ace of Swords and the 8 of Cups is present there, but it's not dominating your month like this is. So just keep that in mind. That's it for your reading. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. I upload videos before the first of every month for all the signs. And if you subscribe and then hit the bell icon next to subscribe, you'll be automatically notified as soon as I do that, so you're not just constantly checking. So that's it. I'm going to pause this and pan down so that you can see the 3 cards together, because that's helpful visually, I feel like, rather than me just keep raising the different ones. And it also is a beautiful deck, and I think you might want to see them all together. So that's it. I'll talk to you next month, Aries. Bye. So I meant Taurus. I did the video for Aries before that. Sorry about that, Taurus. So you can see here the beautiful cards, your 8 of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and 8 of Cups. Thanks for tuning in.